I'm gonna have to start editing videos because I get through these things and I just let slip a couple of things. I'm like, darn it, gosh darn it, I wish I could clip that out, make it that Bridget Bardot dog whistle. Anyway, so Disney. Oh, this is a Valkyrie in the European pantheon. A religion, a Norse religion that's still practiced to this day. It's a growing religion, which is very good, based, and based. This is where Disney is. So Disney has a situation where you've got a moderate nut job versus a completely insane, just out of his freaking mind nut jobs. It feels like they're both nuts, don't get me wrong. They're both far left wing globalist propagandists for sure. But one is a little bit more pragmatic, and the other one is just so super, drinking the Kool-Aids. It feels like he's going to those island parties and those Bohemian Grove type of bonfires where they dress up in like antlers and stuff and have the Maria Abramovics painting blood on the walls and like the naked girl in a pool of red colored corn syrup, and that just kind of that stupid stuff that like wealthy people, they look around for these kind of diversions because they can't they can have nice dinners, but they have to be low calorie dinners because they have to stay lean kind of stuff. I'm suspecting a lot of pharmaceuticals are involved. It's like really bored wealthy people are interesting because they're looking for things to do that like ordinary people. So yeah, what do you? Oh, we rented like some wrestling show, for $50. Got everyone together and we had hot dogs and we smoked a little and had a few beers. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was. That's a lot of fun to watch wrestling and it's like the total cost of the outlay for that day was $200. And these people are doing things like, yeah, they can't do that kind of stuff. Anyway, so what really happened to Disney? Nobody but they will know. And I don't know, they're probably in their 60s. So if they want to write a tell-all book now, they could write it now, publish it in 10 years. And by that time, I don't know how many people are going to be caring about Disney. Because in 10 years from now, Disney's going to be you're going to have a very different association with Disney. It's kind of like gold. It's like some of the South Korean companies in the 90s where they started off as these very low budget companies. In the history of Gold Star, I think was one of them, and then some of the car companies like Daewoo and Hyundai were these like Gold Star went to LG, right? And it was because one CEO came in there and he's looking at the quality control and he goes, yeah, we're going to turn this company around, we're going to start making good products. And like that's just what they did. And suddenly Gold Star, which was South Korean garbage, turned their S around, and they validly got a reputation for making the highest quality products they possibly could make. And it's like, unfortunately, sometimes companies do that in reverse, and you might see that with Disney unless somebody decides to get on board. I think it's just really going to be probably the shareholders who decide, or whoever's controlling has some kind of plurality. Anyway, so Perlmutter makes a few good points about Disney. He says you don't give creative people a blank check, and that's kind of the things you go, yeah, of course everyone knows that, even non-business people know that, everyone knows that, flighty creative artistic types, oh yeah, we're going to give you a blank check for 30 years and you can make movies that lose $50 million. Oh, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, obviously that doesn't make any sense. None of this makes sense until it all makes sense. But you're gonna have to go watch They Live, I don't know, about a half a dozen times. Maybe we can do that together on doing Odyssey live streams. Like, you just watch They Live every Friday night. Yeah. That's weird. Anyway, so no, you don't give creative. Here's a credit card, Mr. Creative Person. You can lose $100 million. It's fine. Disney will subsidize you because it has that much money. So does Amazon, to be fair. Somebody needs to tell them, yeah, you gotta have somebody above them who is not somebody else at Disney described it as a star F word. It means somebody who is glamorized by star power, which, hey, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe that would have been a thing where stars, because there weren't as many distractions, it was a glamorous presentation. But now it's like Jack Black and Lizzo, I don't know, some kind of rapper or something, comedians, I don't know. They're on Star Wars, and it's like, those are modern day stars. Those people they're nobody. They're not. That's not Bridget Bardot or Sophia Loren or whatever, or I don't know, even Clint Eastwood back in the 70s making cowboy movies, or John Wayne, or like fun stars who were putting together. Like, those people are, yeah, they're wealthy, but like, you look at their body of work, and you're like, this is crap. This is all just crap. And then you look at the people just the slack-jawed, mouth-breathing bovine shoveling popcorn in the mouth as fast as possible. Like, oh God, America is so screwed. Anyways, you got to have somebody pragmatic over these over the creative types who's not swayed by the glamour of star. Terry Pratchett wrote a cool book about Hollywood. I forget what it was called. He wrote a lot of cool books. Unfortunately, he died of dementia at like in his early 50s. It sucks so bad, or Alzheimer's disease or something. He wrote a lot of good books that were one about Australia that was cool too. Anyway, you got to tell someone like, yeah, you're here to sell movies, and we got to have a net profit. It's got to hit a certain return on investment. And he points out like Hollywood focuses on box office, but I think he meant that he was implying that the business people, like, you don't focus on the gross, you're focusing on the net. And even non-business people understand the difference between gross and net. And the Hollywood is swayed by these big box office numbers. You go, yeah, you know how much money went in to make the movie, and then the advertising, it's like it still hasn't broken even yet, and it's all this like glamour and man's theater and all these parties. It's like the guy, the bean counter, with the banker's glasses, or the, what do you call it? What's the financial guy with the glasses on, perch on his nose, and the the cliches. Like, he's still looking at the numbers. Like, yeah, you can dial back that excitement, friends. Wait until it makes money. It's like, unfortunately, Disney doesn't have that guy. He's there, but he doesn't have power. The creative people has power. Like, that's insane. Yeah, that's where Disney is now. Anyway, thing is, if they want to put all this woke, BLT, plus furry, poxwalk, other kind type of stuff in there, and no offense to that crowd. It's like, I don't mean any offense to that crowd, but I mean, you got to realize, like, it's a smaller audience that's going to be on board with that. And in the 90s, they did make those BLT movies. They were low budget movies. They had reasonable expectations they knew their audience was going to be mostly BLT people. And it was also going to be a few people who were going to, that's so annoying, who were going to rent a movie with their girlfriends and watch some kind of gay comedy just for the heck of it. And it's just to kind of say, oh, all right, this is kind of what they're going for. But the budgets for those movies back then were like $2 million. They were very, very realistic about their expectations. The thing is, from whatever you want to put in a movie, from the pragmatic aspect of it, the bean counter guy doesn't care what the movie content of the movie is. It goes, is it here to sell? Is it making a net profit? And they go, no, you don't understand our artistic vision with our ideological purposes, and we've got two people kissing in the background, and we've got all of this Bolshevik stuff, and it's all tribe mixing and interspecies erotica, and there's but did it make a profit? It's like, well, no, it has not. But, well, there's no but after that. It has to make a profit, and that's what the Pearl guy was trying to point out. The thing is, Disney's not Disney anymore. It hasn't been. Disney isn't a company. Disney hasn't been the Disney you think of if you're over 40. You're thinking of Disney like pre-1990 Disney, of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or Fantasia type of Disney. Disney now is $1 billion propaganda machine to spread global Bolshevism. I remember in the 90s, the changeover at Disney, because I knew people who were involved, and they were talking about the people who were working behind the scene, and they were saying there was just an increasing number of the creative, how do I say this, the creative types who were working behind the scene at Disney. And it's like, you can look to the future fast forward 30 years, like, this is why you are where you are now. Anyway, I didn't say that very well. Thing is, Pearl didn't want Disney to subsidize Marvel's cultural Marxist propaganda. He wanted it to make money. It's like, that shouldn't be a shocking concept for any corporate form. You can put your propaganda in there all you want, but it still has to make money, which means you're going to have to just dial it back enough to where you cross over into making profits. But but we're not going to be able to push our ideology. It's like, this isn't a religion. And that's what Pearl doesn't understand. Is like, yeah, I don't think Pearl's invited to the island or the Grove parties, or that. I don't think Pearl understands that, like, this is a religion. Pearl, it's like, I don't think you're on board the same. I don't think you're on board the Disney. I imagine Disney in a back room, like with sacrifices to Satan and like a star on the floor and a lot of candles, drinking blood. Is that hyperbolic? Probably not. Anyway, he just wanted them to dial stuff back enough to make a profit. That Panda movie lost 170 million bucks. Strange World, I think that lost 100 million dollars. It was about they were putting children under the age of consent in prurient interest roles. I mean, it's just the sickest stuff imaginable. And if I go further into that, I'll start Fed posting and stuff like that. And I can't edit these, so I really don't want to go down that path because I'll just lose my effing mind. The thing is, Disney's made a bunch. I mean, these people, like, you just really don't say anything in the comments, but like, oh god. Anyway, half dozen these other films also lost money, and apparently Disney is fine subsidizing those films to spread their bullshit messaging. But Pearl's aware that it hurts the Disney brand, and it might take a few years, but it's definitely happening. It's happening right now. Warner Brothers was aware of that also. That's why that Bat Girl, Cat Girl, whatever movie got canceled. They made the movie. You look around at modern movies, how crap they are, and you go, how bad does a movie have to be to make it and then cancel it? It's like, well, we'll never know because we're not going to see that movie. But I'm assuming if it's bad enough to cause reputational harm, then at least Warner Brother is aware of that. Like, they're willing to cancel a movie. And they had some tax reasons to do it too. But Disney doesn't seem to have that problem. They're just gonna keep subsidizing Disney and Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Like, when you look at the properties Disney owns the intellectual property rights to, you'll laugh your ass off. You're like, you guys should be printing money. The thing is, Disney is still making money, but I suspect it's coming from the old properties and the theme park because the new stuff is really, really hit or miss. Anyway, eventually this is going to catch up with them. It's going to take a few years, but like it's going to be like LG is going to going backwards back into Gold Star, and I kind of think that's what Disney. The thing is, Disney was never like a crap company. It started off strong because you had Walt Disney doing this animation. It started off strong and it just got stronger. So it never was a turnaround story. It was always, I don't know if it was a huge financial success right from the start, but you saw the stuff they were coming out with in the 40s, I think. It was super strong animation, just classic storytelling. And, he was ripping off European stories and dumbing them down for little kids, but it was immediately successful. And that probably peaked up until about the 80s and 90s. And then they're kind of coasting off of that. And then modern day, within the past 10 years, so it's going to take a while if Disney doesn't turn around to implode. But like the theme park and the old properties can't sustain them forever, I don't think. Anyway, so what's Disney's reputation now? Just Wakanda Part 2. Disney's reputation now is woke. I'll say anti-European, anti-family, pro-globalist cultural Bolshevism. They're getting a reputation for movies that are starting to bomb or movies that are starting to underperform, and it's definitely going to have BLT kids in there. It's going to have stuff that families don't approve of. And the thing is, this isn't like we have social media to talk about this stuff. All it takes is like a $200 investment, and you can get on the internet and start making videos. That's really how easy it is, where you can go, hey, this billion-dollar company seems to be run by a bunch of Satanists. And you look around, you're like, oh, I guess you're right. People are starting to awaken the idea that something else is going on behind the scenes, that these companies perhaps might not be what they seem. Yeah, that's, I mean, obviously, that's they're spreading a messaging that is, they have interests adverse to your interests, assuming you're not a Satanist. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. A very sincere thanks to LG, Vegan, Mr. Awake, and John at the Subscribe Star Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, and the various other links. I'll see you guys on the next episode.